Hi, everyone. My name is Lydia Martinez. I am the founder and CEO of L Marketing and Events, and I am here today with Becky Bailey, who with Figgins Digital Media. Becky is one of our strategic partners. She does very high-level ad fulfillment for our clients and is also a business owner herself. And so I'm delighted to be here with you today, Becky, to talk a little bit about social media ads. But before we go down that road, why don't you just introduce yourself and tell a little bit of the story about how you ended up in business?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me, Lydia. It's great to be here and see you in person because we live kind of far away from each other. Like she said, I'm Becky, and I'm up here in Montana where we're just starting to see some signs of spring and the snow is starting to melt. So that's kind of been fun. But I got into ads management a little bit on accident. Right before the pandemic hit, we were starting a new business, my husband and I, and it was an Airbnb, and we were building a mountain home near the ski area where we live. And it was going to be my job to market it. And so, having a marketing degree, I decided that I better learn how to do some digital marketing since I had more traditional schooling with marketing. And so I took some courses, and right before the pandemic hit, kind of was brushing up on how to do it. And then a very dear friend of mine, with the pandemic, her storefront was closing, and she needed to bring her she needed to bring her store online quickly. And so that was kind of my first deep dive into that 2 years ago, and we are still working together. And she's grown her business by leaps and bounds over the last 2 years. So it's been really fun to watch her grow.
Amazing. I don't know really anybody in the digital ad buying space that ever was like, you know what, I want to be when I grow up a digital ads buyer.
Totally.
All of us fell into it somehow or another out of need. And so a lot of the people that are listening in right now, what they're looking for is like they have a need. And so today I wanted to talk about how to get started in creating ads. And we're not getting into like deep dive nitty gritty on this. We have actual classes that we teach around that. But let's talk, Becky, about where you start when you're first getting ready to dive into doing ads. What's the first place you want to go? Or the
Sure.
first thing you want to do?
I guess the first place I always look when a new client is coming to me to decide if they're ready to start running ads is we take a look at their what are they selling? Have they sold it organically before without running anything paid to their website? Do they have a website that is converting? Meaning, are people going to their website and making purchases? Is it user friendly? Do they have a social following? Are they posting regularly on social media, and are there people engaging with their posts? Do they have an email list, and do they have an active email campaign that they set up to nurture these people that they're trying to find more of? So that's really, I guess that's where I always look to see if somebody's ready or not. It's just, what are they doing organically? Because when you start doing paid ads, it's kind of like adding gasoline to the fire. You can't add, if you add gasoline to a pile of sticks, it's not going to really go anywhere. And so if you already have a fire starting, then paid social and paid ads can really help explode that growth and help it get to where, meet the goals of each client.
Absolutely. And I like what you said about social ads are to add gasoline to the fire. They are not to start the fire.
Yes.
You already have to have something going. And so a lot of times people will come to us and they'll say things like, so I want to do, I just want to do social media ads, and I want to, sell my product, and I'm really excited. And then we dig in and we're like, well, you haven't been posting regularly on Facebook in 2 years. And your website is really slow to load. And you don't have any tracking in place. So we don't know anything at all about who lands on your website and if they're even the right people. And you don't have a way for us to communicate with them, via email or via text message or, any of like, there's no way for you to talk to them and build a lasting relationship. And so usually those people that come to us, we just flat out say, I'm sorry, ads are not your solution.
Right.
You need a brand strategy, you need a marketing strategy, you need to implement that first.
Right. Absolutely.
So talk to me a little bit about, if I'm a business owner and I have all those things in place, I'm still a baby company, but at least I'm like posting on my Facebook page regularly, and I've got an email list and I have a website, and maybe it's not all perfect, but it is there. What do you, and I'm generating some sales, not as much as I would like. What do you do next when you are getting ready to do ads, as far as things like copy and creative?
Yeah. So you really, I think people, maybe avatar is not the right word, but you really want to know who your main, who are you speaking to? Who does your product solve a problem for? And to really speak to those pain points that, that people are looking for a solution for, because people, they don't necessarily buy products, they buy a feeling, and they want to feel heard, and they want to I guess they want to feel heard. And so when you're speaking to them and putting yourself in their shoes, that whole copywriting experience, it makes it a lot easier, and that kind of copy converts a lot better than if you just blurb out a bunch of things about your product and how great it is, right? Like, so you really want to just be on their terms, and how you're going to help them.
Absolutely. So talk to me a little bit, as an example. One of our clients is Hugo Coffee Roasters. What have we done with their copy that kind of sets them apart and, showcases that pain point and also the differentiation?
So yeah, with Hugo, that's been great. It's been it's my first brand that I've worked with that's had a mission. So their mission is to, of course, save animals by selling coffee, and they donate funds from the sale of the coffees to animal rescues around the nation. And so really showing that mission is so important, because you can buy coffee, anywhere, right? But what's special about Hugo is that it's coffee with a mission. And so people can feel really good about buying coffee and helping animals. And so that's really the angle we've taken towards the top of the funnel, meaning when we're reaching people that have never heard of Hugo before, we're showing them that aspect of it. And then as they get more familiar with the brand, then we talk more about what makes Hugo coffee so great, which is, the fair trade and the organic and the sourcing and the way they roast it and all those other really wonderful things that make coffee so delicious.
Yeah. One of the things that I love as well is ad copy is a great way to showcase the personality of the brand.
Yes.
So the Hugo brand is, if I were to personify it, I would say it's like an excited puppy.
That's perfect. Yeah.
So it's fun. It's a little bit playful. It feels spontaneous. Sometimes it feels a little sassy or snarky. And so we get to play with that, and it shows in the brand logo and the brand colors. Hi there, Hugo mug that just came out. So that is a prime example of what this brand is. And so you're able to take those elements of your brand and actually incorporate it in to your ad copy, to the photography, to the graphic design. So for Hugo Coffee, for example, what type of photos resonate with their audiences the most?
Well, clearly dogs. I think on social media, anytime you put a cute puppy or a dog in there, that resonates great. And, one thing that's been really interesting to kind of discover is that the images that are less staged actually do a lot better. They're native to the feed, meaning that they kind of blend in with someone's, feed who their aunt is taking a picture off the cuff, or, it's just, you don't see a lot of professional, stock photos on your Instagram or Facebook feed. And so it's really important to sort of mirror that, because otherwise it'll be really easy for people to just kind of pass by. We kind of call it stopping the scroll. And so
Yeah.
you really want something that's eye catching, but yet not too perfect to kind of complement everything else that they're seeing already.
Absolutely. And it's so funny because we actually also use a lot of user generated content in the Hugo content overall. And so we'll have people that will like snap a photo of them unboxing their coffee with like their dog sticking its nose right in the box, or
Yes.
and so we'll just have people like send us those photos or post those photos and tag us. And it's a great, it like really showcases that connection that people have with the brand. They love it. Their
Absolutely.
dogs, they love showing off their fur babies, and we get to show them off in turn.
Yeah, no, that's great. User generated content is also really huge, and asking some of those, really loyal customers to tag you when they're posting something is a huge benefit. All that, I think the big thing to remember about ads is that it's just one facet of like the whole big picture, right? And so it all works together. And if one spoke of the wheel is not, if your loyal customers aren't talking to your brand, then again, it's like it's just a missing piece, I guess. So it's all encompassing.
So one of the things that newbies, when they're starting out managing their digital ads, always miss is a call to action, asking people to take the next step as part of the ad and part of that ad copy. So let's start with the basics. Like, what are some of the common calls to action that we do in ads? Because everybody thinks it's just buy this product, and it's not
Right.
always that. So,
Yes.
so talk about what some of those calls to action can be.
Sure. So I kind of like to look at it like this. If you're walking down the street and you're selling something, you wouldn't be like, or you're at a party, I'm sorry, let's use this example, and um, you wouldn't just go up to somebody and start rambling about your business or what you do. Like you would go in and you'd introduce yourself, right? And there's like a common courtesy, and then you would let them introduce themselves. And then, there's a warm up before you before you pitch yourself or before you're asking to have coffee or lunch the next day. And so,
So yeah,
um,
as an example, like it would be terrible if I walked up to you and I was like, "Hey, I own an ice cream store. You should probably come buy my ice cream. Do you want some ice cream? Like right now, it's $5.
totally.
My name's Lydia, by the way. Hi."
Yes,
No
exactly.
way.
No way. That would be so off-putting. And so we like to kind of warm people up. And so one of the ways we do that is with call to action. And so we can have an engagement ad running where we just want them to kind of engage with the ad and like it. And that's kind of like their first introduction to, again, we'll use Hugo. It's the first time they see a cute puppy with, some of the coffee in the picture. And then maybe the next one is going to be a little bit warmer, and maybe then we're going to want them to learn more about Hugo Coffee, learn about the mission. And so there could be a button that says learn more. And then as we get further down that path of getting to know them, then we say, hey, shop with us and support us and buy now. And so those call to actions are really important to just along the process of where you're at. Like if someone doesn't know who you are, then you want to just kind of warm them up and then ultimately ask them for their support and their purchase.
I always think of it in like marketing geek speak terms. We always talk about different buckets of content that you have to have, where you have to have content that's awareness. People have to just know who you are, and they have to hear about you, 7 to 10 times before it even like sinks in that
Right.
you are there and you exist. And then you have to prove that you are an authority, that you're good at roasting coffee, that you're good at helping to save dogs, like in the case of Hugo, um, and that you actually are legitimate enough. And then finally, you have to have that other, bucket where there has to be a level of affinity. People have to know, like, and trust you. And then finally, that's when they'll take action.
Right.
You have to kind of walk them down that path of awareness and authority and affinity to get people to do something. And a call to action can be things like sign up for our text message list, sign up for our email list, get this discount code, enter to win. There's so many different things that you can do. But eventually the goal, right, is book an appointment if you're a service-based business, or, buy my product if you're a
Right.
product-based business, and everything in between.
Yes. When, to your point about they need to see stuff 7 to 10 times, I think it's even greater than that now. I think when I first started digital marketing, the rule of thumb was that we have about 5 to 6 seconds to get someone's attention. And I just saw a report the other day that I think our attention span on digital is now down to like 3 seconds.
Yes.
So if you don't get someone's attention in 3 seconds, then you missed it, And so that's why you have to get in front of people so many times, I think.
So next steps, and I'm okay getting a little technical here. If you're ready to run ads on Facebook and Instagram, you've got that product, you've got great copy, you know what you want people to do or what action you want people to take.
Mm-hmm.
What are the next steps for actually setting things up and getting ready to do those ads?
So it would be, the first step would be to set up a business manager account, which can be a lot. And then,
and that's on Facebook, which is
on Facebook. Yeah.
And they do have facebook.com.
Yes.
So just for everybody that doesn't know.
And they do have there's tutorials, and you can, there's a step-by-step process. It's not rocket science, but it takes a lot of steps. And then placing a pixel on your website, and the pixel is Facebook's tracking device that allows them to follow who's on your website. However,
it's like the equivalent of a little cookie.
Yeah, right.
My main tip is be sure that you're putting disclosures on your website too.
Oh yeah, yep. And a privacy policy.
Know that you're tracking them. Just I had a client get in trouble with that recently, so it's been tough.
Oh yeah. Those are the basic 2 things that you're going to need to get set up. Other than that, it's setting up audiences, which is a little, more technical. And I guess the other thing would be to figure out a budget that you're comfortable starting with. And then I think there's also a misnomer out there that, Facebook ads used to be like a ATM, like you put $10 in and you get $1,000 back out, and it's not true. It takes a long time. It's a marathon. And so choose a budget and then stick with that, for a good 3 to 6 months before you make any big decisions about if it's working or not, because there's so many things that one little change can affect everything. And so, but it's not going to be an overnight success. I usually tell clients that, the first 2 months are testing. We're testing out what resonates with the audiences. We're testing the copy. We're testing what we're sending people, what page on their website we're sending them to. There's so many things that you need to test, and you just have to gather enough data.
Or even testing if the audience is right.
Yeah, right.
So we may not have the right audience when we first start out. I can't count how many times that's happened to me.
All the time. Yeah. And it's gotten trickier since the iOS app updates, privacy updates that happened last summer. So it's not impossible to figure it out, but it takes time. And so I guess that would be a huge tip, is to just give it time, stick with a budget. And Facebook really does want people to succeed. A lot of times I hear people say, oh, Facebook doesn't work. They're the enemy. They just are taking my money. And no, they really want people to stick around and to be successful, especially small businesses. I think I think they're realizing that is a huge part of their business.
And I think will continue to be.
Yeah.
I'll have clients on a very regular basis that will ask me, should I still be bothering with Facebook? Is it still valuable? And the answer is a resounding yes. I promise. that Facebook right now often is the best spot to convert people to making a purchase, followed by Instagram. And, that might swap depending on the type of industry that you're in and things like that. But It is truly the best platform that I know of right now to generate sales.
Yeah.
Now, there are other tools for generating website traffic that are really good. There are other tools for, getting your phone to ring that are quite good. But as far as generating first-time sales, social media still is the best platform for that.
I would agree.
And I'm a big believer.
Yeah.
It is not a short-term sales strategy. It is a mid-term sales strategy. Like Becky was saying, it takes a little bit of time. But as you go down that path and you dial in what it is that you're doing, it can pour gasoline on that fire much faster than anything else. Whereas, something like SEO, that is a long-term growth strategy. It's SEO you have to commit to for, a year to 2 years before you really start seeing concrete long-term results. And that data, people landing on your website, that helps you with your social media ads.
Absolutely.
But it's a long-term solution. And so having a mid-term solution like digital ads is really critical to an overall marketing mix. Whew, that was like geeky marketing talk.
It was good though, I think.
Well, perfect. So Becky, any other final tips for anybody looking to dip their toes into digital marketing, social media ads?
Like I said, get that pixel on your website so you can start collecting that data. Understand that it's a marathon, not a sprint, and just keep testing because it does work. You just have to find the right combination of everything, and that just takes some time, but it's there. There's people out there that want to support you and that believe in the mission that you have with your business.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Becky, for joining me today. If you have any questions about, marketing, digital marketing, social media ads, strategy, please do reach out. You can reach out here on Facebook. You can visit our website, lmarketingevents.com, shoot us a message, or email us at hello@lmarketingevents.com. Again, thank you so much, Becky, for joining us today, and everybody have a really great day.
Thanks, Lydia.